Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. Batman vs. Robin has kind of been announced for September of this year. So Mark Waid was doing like a podcast interview or something like that. He let this drop, a 5-issue series starting possibly in September from DC Comics, Batman vs. Robin. This is going to be written by Mark Waid with artwork by Mahmoud Asrar. This is going to spin out of the revelations or the events from World's Finest Volume 1 and reverberate into the current day continuity and lead to a Damian Robin versus a Bruce Batman. So it's Mark Waid, it's Asrar, the artwork's going to be pretty solid. I'm excited to check it out. World's Finest has been decent, but it hasn't completely wowed me, but knowing that it sets up something like that could be pretty interesting. Sacrament is a new one in August from AWA, a 5-issue series written by Peter Milligan with artwork by Marcelo Frusin. And this is basically a science fiction demonic possession story by Peter Milligan. Now, he loves to do subtextual themes about metaphysical realities, spirituality, things like that. So if you're familiar with Peter Milligan's work, this sounds like something that's going to be very exciting. That's from AWA in August. The Illustrated Al, the stories of Weird Al Yankovic, the songs of Weird Al Yankovic. This is going to be a graphic novel, softcover and hardcover, and an uber limited edition. But it's basically a bunch of Weird Al songs interpreted by different cartoonists, right? Including Mike Allred, Peter Bagg, Bob Fingerman. It is a huge list of fantastic, different, unique voices in cartooning, lending their talents to illustrate a Weird Al song. That sounds freaking awesome. There is going to be a cover by Michael and Laura Allred. I'm definitely jumping in on this one. Eternist is a new one in August from Scout. This was one of those concepts created by Andy Serkis. It will be written by Don Hanfield and Anastasia Davis with artwork by Carl Moline. I'm a big fan of his work. I remember Frey, the future vampire slayer comic book from Dark Horse back in the day. That stuff was super cool. But Eternist is basically Heracles solving the murder of his father Zeus. So Zeus has been murdered and Christianity is now on the rise. Heracles has spent all of his time drunk, wasting time, and now there is a chance to catch the killer. So that's what's going on there. The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave is also out from Scout. I almost said Scott. Scott, how are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. From Scout in August, Joseph Siraki, Kelly Williams doing this one. This one is a modern take on Don Quixote, but he thinks he's a Golden Age superhero. Something like that. Seems quirky, seems like it could be interesting. Forever Forward is also new from Scout in August, written by Zach Kaplan with artwork by Arjuna Susini. And this is a time travel story, and Zach Kaplan does science fiction and comics incredibly well. Right now, Metal Society, Mindset's about to be coming out. And what's the other one? Breakout. Love those books, right? Really like his work on like Join the Future and the Poster and all that kind of stuff as well. Is it Post what? What's that book called? Anyway, not getting too distracted here. This is a book, it's your typical time travel story, but instead of trying to go back in time to get back to where they're from, the only way home is to go forward. So they're going to keep time jumping forward and ultimately lead themselves back home or something. I don't know, but it's a time travel story by Zach Kaplan. I'm going to check it out. Meta, the Metalinguistic Crimes Division, is a new one from Scout in August. Marcelo Sarava and Andre Freitas. This one is about a comic book creator whose husband is murdered, and the number one suspect for the murder are the comic book creators that they've created, or the comic book characters they've created. Okay, so it's like comic book characters being the suspects of a metalinguistic crime division. I get it. That's an interesting enough concept to work, so I'll definitely check that out. Mr. Easta is also from Scout Comics in August. It is by Kit Wallace. The artwork looks crazy, looks super dynamic, very energetic, and just wild and rambunctious. It's about an assassin Easter bunny. That's pretty much all we need to know. Then Phantasmagoria is from El Torres and Joe Baccardo, and this one is one of the Black Caravan like horror things, and it feels or sounds very Lovecraftian, I should say, where there's some kind of entity that's been released from the outer worlds into our reality, and a bunch of murders, grisly murders are now happening, and so they have to solve that. So that's what's coming out. Also, bunch of titles from Scout in August. Indiana Jones 5, we've got an official image and release date, June 30th, 2023. I know a lot of people didn't like the fourth Indiana Jones movie. I kind of like it, but it's not my favorite, obviously. But I'm excited for an Indiana Jones 5. It's been a while since 4. I think they've learned from some of the mistakes they made in 4, because 4 is a movie with some issues. So we'll see what happens, but it's a wait-and-see approach for me. Mandalorian Season 3 has been announced for February of 2023. Still haven't watched the Book of Boba Fett. Probably going to be watching Obi-Wan this weekend, though. And I love The Mandalorian, so I'll definitely be checking that out. Star Wars Skeleton Crew is a new Disney Plus series that was announced starring Jude Law. This is going to be created, showran, whatever you want to call it, by John Watts, who did the first 2 Spider-Man movies at the MCU, right? Did he do Far From Home? Or No Way Home? Did he do No Way Home? Far From Home, I know he did the first 2, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, Jude Law is in it, and he says it's supposed to be like the 80s coming-of-age stories, but a galactic version of it. Star Wars Andor dropped that trailer. That show releases August 31st on Disney+. I liked the trailer. Seems cool. Seems like it's about the beginnings of some form of rebellion against the Empire, and the Empire coming out into some of the outer worlds and kind of making their impression known, and how that fosters this seed of discontent that leads to rebellion. So the trailer looks really cool, so I'm excited to check that out. The Willow trailer. So Willow will be releasing November 30th of this year. It's been a long time since I've even seen Willow. Warwick Davis. I used to love that movie when I was a kid. So I watched this trailer. It brought back those nostalgic feels. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait. And I will definitely have to rewatch Willow again several times, because I have not watched that movie probably since I was a kid. I wonder how it holds up. 3,000 Years of Longing is another trailer I checked out. It's a new George Miller film starring Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. Idris Elba plays a genie. Tilda Swinton finds this artifact, opens it up. Idris Elba as a genie pops out. She's supposed to get wishes. It's a George Miller film, and it seems very colorful, complex, light, and humorous. And it also seems like it could have some really interesting things to say about the human condition. The trailer looked amazing. I'm definitely pumped to see this movie. Speaking of Idris Elba, I saw that Beast trailer. So Idris Elba's like on an African safari with his daughters, and they're going around, and then something happens and they wreck their vehicle, and they're basically trapped in this area with this like uber lion, like an uber lion or something like that. And so like in the trailer you see at the end Idris Elba like punching a lion, like fighting a lion. So I don't know. It could be cool, it could be dumb, or it could be just dumb fun, and we'll see that for sure. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I watched that trailer. I do not like the first 3 Mission Impossible films. I love those last 3 Mission Impossible films, so I'm rather excited for this. I do appreciate some of the callbacks to the first movie, including the train scene. So now it's like they can finally get that right, so where they're running on the top of the train. But looks like great giant action, bringing in all those side characters. Wish Jeremy Renner was in there, but you know how that goes with him and these franchises. But anyway, I thought it was pretty tight, and I'm excited to check it out. It drops in June of next year, or July of next year. So, some pretty cool trailers. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP Land? Well, first of all, Dylan's Horror Show tonight. Join us as we talk about Lucio Fulci's classic, New York Ripper. It's going to be a great show. Sunday night, we're going to be talking Rockin Robbie Live. That's right, lots of cool bits coming up for Rockin Robbie Live. And on Monday, no PCP movie night. We're letting you chill from Memorial Day. I know you got a lot of things to do. Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, and you got to get ready for New Comic Book Day. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below anything you think about any of this news that we talked about this week. Be sure to join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Station, pop, pop, boom.